While Chancellor Olaf Scholz is in Washington, Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock will be in Kyiv for 2 days of high-level talks. She'll be joined there by her Czech, Slovak and Austrian counterparts. Our correspondent, Mathias Bölinger, is in the Ukrainian capital. Mathias, Germany is not giving Ukraine any weapons to defend itself in the case of a Russian invasion. Kyiv has expressed deep frustration over this. What can Germany's foreign minister do to show Berlin's support for Ukraine?
Well, that's a very good question. We've heard it again. Germany is not going to deliver lethal weapons. Germany has, however, delivered helmets and a field hospital, or promised a field hospital, and which has been mocked a little bit in the Western defense community and also in Ukraine. But Germany has to do something if they don't want to be seen as an unreliable partner. Well, it's one of the biggest countries in terms of foreign aid to Ukraine. This discussion about weapons that has not been led very aptly by Germany in the last few weeks has really harmed Germany's image here and also in Central Europe. And one thing that Germany could probably do without violating this self-stated principle that they never deliver weapons to crisis regions would be to unblock weapon deliveries from other countries, from other NATO countries who are waiting for Germany's consent to deliver weapons, for example, that are of German manufacturing.
Matthias, Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, she'll be joined in Kyiv by her Czech, Slovak and Austrian counterparts. What's their role there?
Well, what this shows us is that their concern is really high in many countries in Europe about what's going on here, and the countries who obviously watch this very closely are the countries bordering Ukraine, like Slovakia, like Poland, and these countries do not have a unanimous stance on the crisis. Austria is leaning more towards the German position, to diplomacy. They also have very good relations with Russia, deep economic relations with Russia, while the Eastern EU member states are much more wary, are much more aware of a Russian threat, and lean more towards the West and towards the American position.
Now, I know, Matthias, that you've just come back from eastern Ukraine. You were there near areas controlled by Russian-backed separatists. You visited a village, I understand, right at the front line. Let's take a look at your report now.
The village school of Ranitne, the last village here on Ukrainian-controlled territory, is close to the front line. It has come under fire before. Now the classrooms are empty, not because of the war, but because of new COVID restrictions. The war is something people here have been living with for 8 years.
We go to work, and most of the time the children go to school. But we don't know what will happen in 5 or 10 minutes, or tomorrow night. We're always worried, always scared.
Just a few hundred meters down this road is the last Ukrainian position. This school is in the line of fire of the opposite side. There is a heavy military presence in Ranitne. A ceasefire is in place, but shelling can sometimes be heard at night.
We
already know who shoots and when, so we just sit at home. It was worse a few years ago. We always hid in the cellar when there was fighting, but that was then.
But with the latest Russian build-up, a bigger escalation is on the table again.
When things calmed down, we bought a house here. But now we don't know what will happen.
Ukrainian territory ends with the last houses of the village. Behind a small river lies a demilitarized strip. A pedestrian bridge is the only link to the next village in the so-called grey zone.
The next village is not small. People come here every day to work and kids go to school.
One of the people who crosses the border every day is teacher Lyudmila Tkachuk. She is from across the river and does not want to give her real name because her life depends on good relations with both sides. Shelling is even more frequent in her village.
My work is here. I come here every day. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's dangerous, very dangerous. But I cannot just quit work and leave. I just can't.
She says she has not yet lost hope that somehow this conflict might come to an end peacefully.
Mathias, the teacher we just saw in your report there, she seems determined to stay. How do the other people there feel about the Russian troop buildup, and what are they expecting moving forward?
Well, I mean, everybody who's still there is determined to stay. Everybody who wanted to leave or had the opportunity to leave has already left, of course. I think people are following the news very closely and are quite afraid of this situation right now. They have experienced war for 8 years, and that most of them have said that they just hope that somehow there will be a solution to this situation. What we have there is that people who live there might have relatives on the other side. They cannot travel. Some of them have not seen their relatives at the other side of the border. Some have children. One man said he has a son in Moscow and a daughter in Mariupol on the Ukrainian side. So these families are torn apart by this war.
Mathias, thank you very much for your reporting. Mathias Bölinger there, DW's correspondent in Kyiv.